Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is BrendanMushi, and we're back with an Axial guide this time. So Axial is all about just controlling space in the mid-range. He has a lot of long-range special moves, a lot of long-range normal attacks, and so if you're playing Axial, you're basically just seeking to look to harass your opponent from range. And he has so many unique normal attacks that they're basically designed to just control all these different spaces on the screen and like I said, harass your opponent safely. And typically if you do get a hit with Axial, he can usually confirm pretty easily into a full combo. Where Axial struggles is that he does have very low health, so if somebody actually manages to hit you, it's going to bleed. Homie has a glass jaw, so just don't get hit. He does have a DP with Benton in situations where people are pressuring him. It doesn't have as much vertical range as like your typical DP, but it does work as a DP nonetheless, and unless you have meter to RC it if they block it, if someone blocks and punishes it, then you're gonna die. He does have counters as well, so if he gets the read, he can go for a counter, which will actually net him a full combo. So those are going to be his defensive options that you'll use in a pinch. So you are going to have to take a risk sometimes to get out of that pressure so you don't die. So you want to make sure that you are, you know, fucking people up in the neutral game, basically. So a quick overview of Axial's normal attacks. 5P actually whiffs on crouching characters. So you're basically going to use it as like a mid-range poke. A lot of Axial's grounded normal attacks you're going to cancel into his special move Renson. So you'll see me do that a lot when I go over his normals. And so with 5P, he can Gatling it into 6K, which is a really good combo tool for him. So if you do snag someone with it, you can get a combo like that. On counter hit, he can go into Sparrowhawk stance as well. So it's good at beating IEDs and people out of the air. His 2P is basically very similar to 5P, except it's a low. Really, you can cancel it into Renson, and so if the opponent blocks it, it'll pretty much just push them back. It does actually combo into Renson when you're close, and when you're far, it doesn't. Renson does 3 hits, so you can see the difference. However, it does if it's on counter hit. His 5K basically functions as his 5P. So this is going to be like your main tool if someone's pressuring you and you're trying to mash out. That's basically what you're going to use because this is his fastest normal. His 2K is basically like your standard 2K low. Hits low, and it does low profile some moves as well. So basically it's going to be your main combo tool. The kicks are going to be basically your main tool after, you know, a jump in or when you run up to the opponent. His far slash is good at round start. Like I said, you can cancel into Renson. And it's going to be, you know, basically just combo filler. So after like close slash, oops. Far slash with Axial basically functions as a good round start poke with him. And you can cancel into Renson, just like a lot of his other pokes. And so basically that's going to be the main use of it. It actually will get you a stagger on counter hit. If I can fucking time it right. There, boom. So yeah, it'll actually give him a stagger on counter hit. So that's something you can use in the neutral game. His 2S is getting into a lot of his long range anti-air. So this is actually used very commonly after his 6K because these normals right here, they do 2 hits, and the second hit vacuums, where as you can see it pulls it towards him. Same with his 6K. These ones vacuum, and so they work really well together. So 6K, 2S. So forward kick, down slash, and then you can jump cancel this normal. Heavy slash dust into Axial Bomber, which is DP, heavy slash in the air. And so that's the main bread and butter that you'll do with him. And so if they're out of the 6K range, then you can typically just go for, you know, you could go for the 2S. So if they're like in the corner or something. So yeah, this is going to be a really good anti-air for you. His heavy slash is basically combo filler. You can kind of use it as like a pseudo anti-air because of the upward hitbox, but it's just really slow. So it's just a way that you can like combo into Renson. His 2 heavy slash is a low, and you can actually cancel it into Rensen, and it also Gatlings into his 6H, which if you do this to somebody on block, his 6H is an overhead, and so it's a low overhead. It's not really a mix, but the thing is that people can interrupt this gap, but oftentimes people will get caught pressing buttons sometimes, and they'll just like, and so yeah, a lot of times people will try and interrupt it and get hit. So if you do land the 6H on counter hit, then you can actually get a full combo. Otherwise it hits overhead, and so if it doesn't hit on counter hit, then you can just spend meter and get a full combo off of it. His 6P is upper body invul, so it's basically your typical 6P. You know, if somebody IEDs at you, you can jump cancel it, or you can 6P upper body invul, just like your standard 6P. It is jump cancelable, but you can chain into other buttons and then get a full combo off of it. .5D is just your standard dust. Actually, at the point in which he jumps, his feet are actually invulnerable, so it can actually jump over some stuff, but it's kind of a niche. I mean, you're typically just gonna use it for your typical 5D dust. It's a universal overhead. 2D is his sweep, pretty standard stuff. You can use it for combos into Rensen. Use it to get a knockdown. And then that's another move of his we'll get onto in a bit. 3P is a low that hits at range, and so you can actually use this to bait out DPs because of how far back Axial stands. But just be careful not to time it improperly, because it could actually clash with the DP. If it hits on counter hit, it'll actually float them, and then you could get a full combo. So it's something that you could use at range. It's pretty low risk if it hits them. Cool. He can Gatling. And then if it hits on counter hit, like I just showed you, then you get a full combo. So pretty low risk option. Jump punch, pretty standard jump punch. Jump kick is just basically air combo filler. Jump slash is really good normal in the neutral game. Actually vacuums them in. You can use it after an IAD in, and then get a full combo. So it's something that oftentimes people might use. You know, say you want to harass the opponent a bit, cover some space. Like say you jump in the air, Axial has tools to still hit someone on the ground. Axial's jump heavy slash is also good jump in as well. He can only Gatling into his jump dust afterwards, which will actually launch them away. And so you're already starting into an air combo afterwards. So just go into what we talked about before, 6K, 2S, super jump up into the air, heavy slash dust, Axial bomber. Yeah, I mean, outside of that, it's basically just used for combo filler. His jump dust also wall splats in the corner. Alright, so air 6P with Axial, good for covering this airspace horizontally, keeping people in the corner, or just basically anytime anyone's occupying the space, it's good. It also can be used in combos as well. It's actually good to chain his air 6P into air 6K, actually works really well. And then you can go into Axial bomber. Air 6P doesn't actually vacuum, it just does one hit, whereas Air 6K angles up a little bit higher, and it does vacuum. Like that. Also, his Air 6P is really good after IAD slash, because it gives you additional frame advantage. See how you get like a third hit, and then you have additional time to react, and even at far ranges, you can actually land in time to get like a 5P. So even you're basically comboing them from a pretty far distance away. So his jump 2S, it covers a range a little bit closer to him than his far S. So if you're harassing people with far S, sometimes what they'll try and do is they'll try and like run underneath it, right? But if they do that, you can do 2S and actually snipe them. A lot of times people will forget about it. Also, you can use jump 2S instantly as an instant airhead. So he's blocking low right now. And so that actually will hit them as an instant overhead. And sometimes that can be used to just like close out the round or something like that. So Axial's throw always throws them in the opposite direction. So I'm holding forward and it throws them behind me. And now I'm gonna back throw them and it throws them in front of me. So just keep that in mind. After you throw them, Axial does get a full combo. And just like we talked about before, 6K, 2S, super jump up, heavy slash dust, Axial bomber. You'll actually notice against a lot of characters with smaller hurt boxes, like female characters, that what'll happen is you'll like do this, and then the 2S will like whiff. It works really well on Axial, so it's kind of hard to demonstrate. But it'll like kind of whiff. What you can do against those types of characters is you can run up and then hit them with 5P and then do it, and it'll work. So if you've ever been fighting female characters and that's not working, try running up 5P and then do the same combo and it should work. Alright, so getting into Axial special moves, Renson. So the main thing that you'll end combos with on the ground. Has 2 follow-ups, so if you hold up, then he'll swing the chain up, and this can be useful for if somebody's like trying to IAD over it, then you can actually anti-air them. And on counter hit, whoops. On counter hit, it's actually untechable, so you get a full combo. If you just do Renson by itself, you get a knockdown, and so you can actually just IAD in and then start pressuring them. If you hold down, then he'll actually spin it, and this is useful for if you hit them like up close with it and you want to get some more damage. But you'll notice that it'll actually miss at really far ranges, so oftentimes in the corner it's good as a combo ender there, because there's less pushback. But mid-screen, oftentimes it won't hit, and so you have to make a decision between just doing like the regular version and getting the knockdown, or you can knock them up, and then when they like go to tech out, you can try and catch their tech with a button like that. So they will tech out, and then you can try to catch them for a reset and just kind of like force them, you know, force them to air FD to deal with you catching them out of their tech, or force them to tech differently. Renson will also eat a lot of projectiles as well. So like if Kai throws like a stun edge at you, you can Renson through it and hit him. Also, you can do Renson YRC, and this will help you against people IADing over you. So it helps you kind of cover both options, and you can slow down time and see, you know, what they did. You can also Red Roman cancel the upward version if you want to extend combos. So obviously Renson YRC is really good in neutral because, you know, if it hits, you get a full combo. You can blow them up. If they block it, then you get in for free. But you can actually use this in block strings too. So if you were to do 2K close slash 2D into Renson, if you time it correctly, you can actually keep up the pressure as well. So really important if you want to keep your block strings going, and then you can maybe go for like a tick throw or something. But if you do it too early, then you'll end up getting, so if you do it too early, you end up getting red. So you want to do it like right before it hits them, because Renson does have to actually like travel to them. So you want to do it like right before Renson hits them. Alright, so DP plus kick, Raye. It's a built-in cross-up for Axial. He goes a set distance, so it is possible for it to actually like land in front instead of landing behind. You can get blown up for it if the opponent actually like reacts to you doing it. He can use it to get himself out of the corner too. So like let's say you're in the corner and you want to get out, you could do something like, and it also has uses as a combo filler as well. It'll actually float the opponent on counter hit. for big ass damage. That's big boy damage. Alright, Spindle Spinner, half circle forward heavy slash. It is an unblockable, so they can't block it, but the startup is crazy long. So you're gonna get hella blown up if the opponent reacts to it. You can YRC the beginning part of it, but like nothing comes out if you do that. It just keeps you safe. And so, you know, maybe if they do, whoops. Maybe if they do IAD over it, you can YRC and punish them. Otherwise, after that point, it disappears and you PRC, which costs more meter, 50% instead of the 25 that the yellow costs. So, once it actually does hit, you can, whoops, I didn't mean to do that twice. That's what you get for mashing, scrub. You can YRC, 6K, 2S, super jump up, heavy slash dust, Axial bomber, the BNB. You can also RC it there, and it's pretty funny, it just holds them in place. You can actually use that to instant kill people as well. If you want to be mad disrespectful, here's what you can do. Yeah, so if you want to be mad disrespectful, you can do that to somebody. Alright, so Axial's counters, core circle back punch will counter mids and highs, and core circle back kick will counter lows. If you actually do end up getting hit, you can get a full combo off of both. You can just do 5p, whoops, if you're not a scrub. So 5Ps into 6K and then just go into the standard BNB. So off of both of them you get the same thing. It actually works against supers too. Whoops, I did it a little too early. Yeah. So it works against supers too. Obviously, you can be thrown out of it. Projectiles won't work against it, and unblockable attacks. Well, projectiles will beat it, throws will beat it, and unblockable attacks will beat it as well. Oh, and by the way, it's not frame 1 startup, so you can't use it as a reversal on wake up. It's something you have to do. You have to at least allow it to start up. It starts up in 4 frames. Both of them do. Jump, DP motion, heavy slash as Axial bomber, and this is like, you see me do this multiple times throughout the tutorial. So this is your main combo ender in the air. You can kind of YRC it to use it as like an additional like movement tool. So you see me use my double jump, and then you can YRC it to use it as like an additional movement tool. But it's mainly going to be a combo filler. Axial also does have some combos that involve him TKing it, where you do it off the ground as quickly as possible instead of jumping and doing it in the air. Like that. And so he can actually combo off of it in situations where if the opponent is actually high enough above you and then you TK it immediately afterwards. Honestly, the way that I do it is I just hit up forward and then immediately do it as fast as possible. But I just prefer to just jump and immediately do it with this move. This isn't always the case with doing a move in a situation where you need to TK it, but you can do 6, 9, 2, 3, and then press it. So 6 and then 9 is up forward. So 6 is forward, 9 is up forward, and then down, down forward. So you're basically sneaking an up forward motion in the middle of the DP. So that's the way some people like to do it. So basically what you can kind of think of it is just do forward up forward real quick. So you can see my stick there, how I flick it forward up forward like that, and then down down forward. So you flick flick like that, and if you do it quick enough it should TK. See? So that's one way you can do it with Axial as well. Next is Axial's Sparrowhawk stance. So core circle back heavy slash and he'll enter the stance. Once you've entered it, you can do punch will go high into the air, slash will go low, and then kick will go into a mid distance. And he can chain these into each other up to 6 times total. So you can get 6 hits. And if you whiff or it gets blocked, then it ends immediately. he just immediately gets out of the stance. If you press heavy slash again, you can actually get out of the stance and cancel it. So this can be used as like, if you're really far away full screen, nobody's gonna punish that startup time. You can kind of throw it out. People will kind of have to guess if you're gonna throw it low or if you're gonna throw it high. And so they kind of have to like, are pressured to make a decision because they might get a punish on you if they IAD over this. But if they do decide to IAD over it and then you end up doing the punch one, see, then it's obviously gonna fuck them up. If you wait long enough in the stance, you'll see him go, yes! And at that point, the first chain that he does will actually become unblockable. So dummy's blocking right now. Whoops. I think they stopped. And so that's unblockable. So Benton, like we mentioned before, is his DP. So it's something you're going to use if somebody's pressuring you, is to get the fuck off me. You're getting up on wake up, get the fuck off me. Somebody has a gap in their pressure, get the fuck off me. And if you hit them, you can RC it and get a full combo if you want to. Can't RC it on whiff. And if they block it, you're gonna get hella punished. Now obviously you can RC it on block though. Be careful of people trying to like space themselves out of it, because then you won't be able to. Alright, so his super Sickle Storm, core circle forward, half circle back, heavy slash, complete reversal on wake up. So you can use this as a meter version of get the fuck off me. And it can also be used as combo filler as well on grounded combos to add on some extra damage. And because Benton, you can't RC it at this distance because it's whiffing. So if somebody's trying to space themselves, like using normals like these, you can do the super instead. It's only -4 on block, but so it's -4 on block if you block it. But the thing is, you can just block the first part and then jump over the second part, and that's the way you actually punish the super. So if you're fighting Axial, and then you get a counter hit, and then your low ass life, you can say goodbye to it. Alright. Core circle back slash, core circle back slash is his other super called Shark Strike. Damn. And so this starts up extremely quickly, and it yanks them to Axial and puts them in a staggered state, and so he can actually combo off of it, and it's also plus on block, so if they block it, then you're plus 11. Oh, shit. Supposed to be blocking, my guy. So you can bring him in, and it is your turn. So there's a couple ways you can actually use this. So because it's a super, and as you can see in the top right hand corner, the burst is cut out, you can't burst supers. And because that puts them in a stagger state, you can throw them as well. And you can't burst throws. So if there was a situation where maybe you hit someone and you figure they're gonna burst, you could go into the super, and then, oops. You can go into the super, and then you could throw them, right? And then even after that, Axial's got, you could do this, and that's actually like burst safe. So even that entire interaction, they basically can't really burst it, except for at like right at the very beginning. If this actually hits on an airborne opponent, instead of staggering them, it'll actually tumble them, and then you actually get an air combo instead. Okay, so in summary with Axial, essentially, like I said, what you want to do is you want to use your normal attacks to basically harass the opponent, cut them off, and if you do get a hit, you want to practice getting a hit with all these different unique command normals that he has. Maybe if you hit them in the air, like air-to-air kind of a situation, then you're typically going to go into like, whoops. If you're close enough, into an Axial bomber, and maybe if you're not, you can't, but you know, try and catch them out of their tech. That's oftentimes what you're gonna do, is try and catch them out of their tech, and then maybe if they finally start respecting you, hit them with the unblockable, which you want to use like sparingly. If you want to RC it, go to the same combo. Gets combos off the throw. And then if you ever get pressured, he has Benton as like a get off me, which you can RC, go into the same B&B. And so yeah, that's pretty much Axial, guys. So hopefully you enjoyed this guide. I will be trying to crank out many more, and I'm going to be watching CEO Taku this Sunday. So I'm really excited to get some new Guilty Gear news with bros. Alright, so that's pretty much it. That's pretty much Axial. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this guide. Hopefully it was helpful to you. I will be doing guides for the characters that you guys are requesting. I am listening, so I'm going to get these character guides out quickly before Guilty Gear 2020, and then I'll do the guides for that as well. I'm going to be watching CEO Taku because I'm jealous I'm not there. But yeah, I'm going to be watching CEO Taku, and I'll make sure to react to any new Guilty Gear news and stuff that we get. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Again, appreciate all the support. Hopefully this helps you out, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later.